Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you, once again, another weekly chapter review of Taizai. This chapter was glorious, for many reasons. Not just the release of King's Sacred Treasure, another form, but there was some very subtle foreshadowing that was displayed in this chapter. Now, I know some might have caught on, because it was actually kind of out in the open, but I wonder exactly how many knew what that panel was for. For instance, diving into it, you remember in this chapter to where King was like, this face looks rather familiar, when he looked at the Fairy King's, like, representative. For instance, a person that's, representing the Fairy King that they're currently fighting. And if you look closely, like, I had to take a moment to think on it, because when I saw it, I'm like, that fairy looks very, very similar, and I'm like, didn't we see a fairy that had a kind of a mean side, and was trying to kill Bon a while back? You remember that this person showed, like, some form of an evil side. Now, we got a little bit of an explanation of why, she was attacking Bon, but from what we found out was there was some shadiness about this character. And if you compare the appearances of this character and then the representation of this, the Fairy King, they're very similar. Like, the earrings to the flower on the head and all that, it looks very similar. And my assumption of what I think this means is either A, is that this person that we met with Bon, when Bon was fighting her, most likely that might be the daughter of the original Fairy King. Or B, this person is maybe like another half or something of the original Fairy King, something along the lines of that. But there's something very shady going on here, especially with finding out more about this representation of the Fairy King, and then seeing the similar character design that Bon fought before in the Fairy Forest. So now that I've got that out of the way, let's dive into some other things of this chapter. So, this chapter, it's glorious because I love how King, once again, finally gets the spotlight and actually doesn't get his ass handed to him. It's been a good long while since I've seen King back in the fray and actually kicking some ass. I mean, he kicked some ass against Albion a while back, but, I mean, the main reason why I've always loved King, and he's always been one of my personal favorites, besides Bon, of course, and Escanor, King has always been, like, my other character I've really cared about. And seeing how King, in this chapter, he went back to those roots I knew him as being a fucking badass. He puts on this serious face, he's going in, he's protecting Diane, and just seeing how he's, like, kicking ass. Like, he just puts on this serious expression, he's just using the Sacred Treasure, just kicking ass, twiddling his fingers around. It's fucking awesome. And seeing King do that in this chapter, honestly, I fanboyed a little bit. I definitely fanboyed, maybe a little bit of fangirl, just because seeing my boy King kicking some ass, revealing some more of his Sacred Treasure. I mean, we remember what happened the last time he used his Sacred Treasure and he unleashed one of his forms. It had some bad repercussions to him. Remember, he was bleeding and stuff. It was really bad on him, and I'm willing to bet him releasing this, like, teddy bear type pillow, it's probably going to be very bad for his health as well, so probably something really bad. It definitely counteracts the overpowered nature of this Sacred Treasure that King has, because with its strong ability to be able to kick some fucking ass, it needs to have some form of, repercussions. And seeing King probably gonna be hurt after this, or not being able to walk, or move, speak, or whatever, it makes a lot of sense if he's able to defeat the representations of the Fairy King, and then, Balor as well. So, what led to this, I have to say, was pretty funny in a way, because King, he pretty much showed this form because he was trying to protect his waifu. He was trying to protect Diane, and I was like, it's just that love with Diane and King, it doesn't get old. It really doesn't. I've always loved the relationship with Diane and King, and I have to say, it's been the biggest cock block in a while with this relationship when, Diane lost her memories. It really pissed me off, and to this day, I'm still a little bit agitated that Diane lost her memories. I mean, Galter explained it, and I understand why she lost her memories, but I've never been a huge fan of this entire memory loss ordeal with Diane, especially trying to regain her memories back. And seeing King finally saying in front of Diane, like, I'm tired of lying, I want to tell you the truth, and he's pretty much about to reveal everything to Diane and say how much he loves her. GG, that's good. I love that, King. Keep that up, because seeing how you're not going to run away, you're going to tell her how you truly feel. I'm willing to bet at the very least somewhere deep down, Diane might remember you some way. But I also want to take note of one thing that also happened this chapter, which many might have overlooked. Diane took a heavy blow to the head. Like, when Balor was flying, Diane took a huge hit, like, near the head region. And, as you know, when it comes to things like that, especially manga or something, or memory loss, like, it's a common, cliche. Usually when someone gets hit in the head after memory loss, maybe some parts of their memory might come back. Now, I don't know exactly if that's what's going to happen, but there was a huge point of this chapter. It was focused on where Diane got hit, and she just got a little bit of like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? That's what happened in this chapter of Taizai. So we need to take note of that and make sure we realize that maybe Diane might start remembering a little bit in the next couple of chapters. So overall, the chapter of Taizai, it was a good chapter. I mean, it had some fan service here and there. I mean, we get to see some more of, King being in between Diane's tits, and that's just like, Nakaba-sensei can't help himself sometimes, and I guess, he has to throw in some fan service every so often. And, Taizai isn't a fan service heavy series, so I can overlook it every so often. So just, go, you know what, Nakaba, just do what you usually do, okay? Just keep these badass, action chapters, keep some great character development, do some awesome foreshadowing and stuff, and everything is GG. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.